So there's lots of festivals throughout the year, um, and often the one that's dismissed the most by people is Valentine's Day. A lot of people say it's a commercial enterprise made up to sell cards and oddly shaped chocolate boxes, or whatever people say, and obviously we live in a capitalist world, and you're just thinking, well, they do that with everything. They do that with Gay Pride Month, they do that with Christmas. Christmas is more of a celebration of capitalism than a celebration of Jesus Christ in this country. But for some reason, people take a stand on Valentine's Day as the one thing that they don't, the one bit of commercialism that they don't want to indulge in. And I'm not saying that there isn't a commercialisation, but we don't have to indulge in the commercial aspect. And for me, it's I think it's my favourite festival because it's a very private festival. People don't ask you what you're doing for Valentine's Day in the same way that they're doing for Christmas. People almost don't like to ask you in case you're not doing anything or whatever. And in any case, it's a private thing, and to me, it's about gestures more than anything else, and it's quite a simple festival, and it's just nice. It's a festival of love. It's a festival of affection, and most festivals can have elements of complexity where, say, Easter, as much as there's a wonderful goodness aspect to it, there's still the inevitable negative aspect of like the whole that Jesus dying on the cross. I'm not saying it's not necessary or important. I'm not knocking Easter as a festival, but there's a complexity to it that makes us think, and it makes us reflect. And I think the reason why I like Valentine's Day so much is it's just nice. There's no thought about it. There's no reflection. There's no intellectualization about it. It's just doing something nice for someone, and for the sake of doing something nice. It's not to be a better person. It's not to be a better Christian or Buddhist or Hindu or anything. We're not trying to change who we are. We're trying to do something nice for someone else because it's nice to be nice. And I like the idea of it just being a simple, nice to be nice festival. And it is my favourite time of the year. Halloween's a close second, I think, but Valentine's Day is probably my favourite festival. And for me, the thing I struggled most with Valentine's Day wasn't the giving of being nice, but the receiving of being nice. And it's hard to really open our heart and really appreciate the nice things that people do for us. It's easier on our heart to take things for granted rather than to get all emotional. It's easier to expect that cup of coffee in the morning than to actually appreciate it. Because it's hard to appreciate things, really, truly. And well, for me anyway, I find it hard to really accept gifts and gestures with my heart. So it's easier for me to give something nice than to really appreciate when it's given back. So for me, it's a practice of receiving kindness and love and affection as well as giving it. And I don't quite know how this is related to Buddhism other than Buddha-like people being nice to each other. and not everything has to have a deeper meaning. And I think that's the secret to a lot of things, not looking for deeper meaning, not looking for anything more than it is, and not turning everything into a thing. I remember I was reading about a monk who was so honest and earnest in their practice. They wanted to be so mindful all of the time, and they practiced really earnestly and really with a lot of dedication. They didn't lie down for 4 years. They slept on a chair, and he found it did nothing but make him achy. And he said he couldn't walk from one end of the room to another without it becoming a thing, or without him trying to be aware of every step he took. And there is a benefit to that sort of practice, but sometimes just letting go is what we need to do to let go. Ajahn Chah said, when you let go a little, you get a little peace. When you let go a lot, you get a lot of peace. And when you let go completely, you get complete peace. And for me, Valentine's Day is one of those days that I can practice trying to let go of everything and just, I don't know, just for the fun of niceness. I even took Friday off to try and do get some groceries in to do a nice meal. So yeah, that's my thoughts for today. Nothing very profound, which is quite good. So Anamodana Sadhu.